Well, it has been a little bit since we've chatted. To sum up the month of January, it was a pretty rough month. So just a quick update before we get into some stuff. Had come down with COVID, and that was my second battle with COVID. And it just left me exhausted. So I've just been sleeping a lot, and what I ended up doing was it just was too much energy to like set the camera up, and I could only work for like in 10-minute spurts. So in 10-minute spurts from January like 10th to now, which is February 6th, I was able to sand, wire wheel the frame, which brings me to a new section of my series that I would call something like Fool Me Once, or Learn As You Go, where I can give you tidbits on how to make your life easier if you plan on doing this. And here's what I learned. If you get into the middle of wire wheeling your frame, what you need to do, which would be more beneficial for you, is to, instead of wire wheeling the frame, learn how to build a time machine and go back and slap yourself in the face for taking apart a completely fine running vehicle. So that's easier than wire wheeling. Wire wheeling took forever, and I didn't know the extent of how many wire wheels I was going to go through, but it was a lot. And I wire wheeled it. I'll put some shots up here. During the wire wheeling, I came across some numbers that were stamped in the frame there, numbers that were stamped in the back here. I'll put a little shot of both of those up. The frame came really clean, and it was pretty great. I already threw away one of the products, but I kind of started panicking about what to use for frame coating. So just as a quick review, I use this POR15 cleaner degreaser, and then this is just a generic bottle, but what's in there is called POR15 metal prep, and I sprayed that on. This is what it does to the metal. If you can see that, it like turns it, like gives it a weird coat. Overall, it was a lot of work, a lot more work. I couldn't imagine if I had a bad frame of how much work that would be. Made me appreciate the guys that are doing this a lot. I just wire wheeled the control arms shiny because in the future, and then I just painted over them. In the future, when I get ready to change that, when I can afford to change more stuff out on it, I'm going to upgrade the shocks and the control arms and the suspension, both in the front and the back. So I painted the differential, I shined it up, and then I POR15'd it, and then I sprayed it. Oh, and there were some spots that I couldn't get to with POR15 with the brush, and so what I did for those spots was I got rust barrier, duplicolor rust barrier, and I was able to spray quite a bit on with that. So I did one coat. Things to learn about POR15 is, one, it's runny, and it runs for a long time. So I had painted it on, and I apparently painted it on too thick. There was some sections that had bubbled up because it couldn't evaporate fast enough, is what I've read about. And so I had to resand some of the spots on the top. Everywhere on the bottom, it just dripped off. And I'm glad I put this paint sheet down because it ran off everywhere. And what it did leave is like on some of the seams, it just kind of ran off of the metal, and it left some of the metal, the high metal it left exposed. So the second time around, I coated it a little better, a little thinner at first, and let it get tacky. And then I went over it with rust barrier. And then after that was all done, I thought, well, what do I do now? And I should have done this before, so this is a good learning life lesson if you're gonna do this. I learned that you need to top coat POR15 or because it's not UV resistant. So I bought Rust-Oleum acrylic enamel. I read through the technical sheets of that. It recommends this, use it as a top coat. I have this readily available near me. So I bought 3 cans of this, and after I sprayed Rust-Oleum in where it needed to be, I let it dry, and then I did a top coat with 3 of these cans, well 2.5, this one's almost empty. So that made it really hard too, so here's another hot tip. And because I did gloss on everything, it was really hard to see where I sprayed. So tech tip, maybe what I should have done is done a gray primer over the POR15 and then put this on. But I have so much paint in my lungs that I don't know how necessary that would have been anyway. So yeah, overall, that's that. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad January's done. I still don't have my energy back. So this was just a quick little update just to let you know that I have a little bit of energy back. I'm gonna start ramping it back up. And this week, so today is Sunday evening. This week I'm gonna tackle getting the engine prepped, taking off the timing cover and the oil pan. So that's what we'll be doing hopefully by tomorrow. Tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, and just start right back into it. So again, if you ever think, man, I got a good running car here, let's take it down to the frame. You just need to go not do that because it's terrible. I don't know what I'm doing this for.